Running a Fever, episode 67. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about supplements, something that's a big mystery. And I'm walking along the dam on my way to the arena from the other side. And it's as beautiful as ever. There's ducks out. Not terribly crowded. It's always interesting when you see somebody. I mean, you're used to seeing people running, walking, cycling, walking their dogs, pushing their strollers, fishing. It's always interesting when you see somebody who's smoking and holding a beer. The second day, well, I didn't see a beer in this person, but yesterday I did see that. All kinds of things happening here on Lake Fayetteville. So I'm thinking seriously about going to a 3 release a week schedule. So you'll get Running a Fever Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 3 per week instead of 2 per week, and an occasional Monday special. And I'd love for you to let me know how you feel about that. You can comment on this episode at runningafever.com, or you can email me mail@runningafever.com. All right, coming apart on the 0.5 mile point. I really think this course is more than 5.25 miles. But I'm going all the way to the 0.5 mile mark anyway. Not going to kill me, I don't think. I want to get all Nietzschean on you guys, but it will make me stronger. Lady had a shirt on and just said "just." Tank top, obviously references to Nike slogan "Just Do It." Also has another meaning. Fairly clever. Definitely should have taken the Advil today. Only just turned the corner and I'm already complaining. How about that? So a sure cure for complaining and not feeling good and just dreading that next step and, feeling pain, all that kind of stuff, is talking. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some various things. Actually, I think I probably need more rest. I need more recovery time, which makes sense because I really have probably been overdoing it a little bit because I'm pushing myself a little bit further out. Now I don't want to. We talked about before, it's amazing the transformation when you get over that hump and make exercise a habit, or, whatever your food intake is, and that becomes a habit. And it's just hard to reverse. Everybody thinks it's hard to exercise. It's hard to lose weight. It is. It's also hard to change that. I mean, it's really the change, I think, that's the difficult part in all this. So how can I get the recovery that I need? And that's part of what diet is about, which leads me into my next point. As promised, I need to talk a little bit about supplements. Why is it such a mystery? Well, like I said, there's a lot of information out there. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, some of it's just useless. I'm on the trail, so grain of salt. If I give you a fever fact, well, that's been researched for at least an hour. And that's valuable information. This, I hope, is too, because it's a learning journey for me. I found a site called Muscle for Life that's a pretty good. I mean, I can tell, like I said, when things are reasonable, logical, make sense. But sometimes those things are still not necessarily good. They're plausible. You might call it plausible deniability or plausible fallibility or something. I just went the wrong direction in Veterans Park. Just kept on going around to the right, so I'm going to have a extra 30 yards on my walk today, which I think is going to be longer than 4 miles. Can you imagine? Can you believe that I started out this thing with a half mile a day, and I started again in February with a half mile a day, and now I'm up to 4 miles, which is record setting, personal best in the modern era. But again, information seems credible, seems to make sense, not necessarily credible. But the more you listen to someone, the more you can figure out what they're about. I usually check out with at least a couple of sources before I start thinking something's worthwhile. It's true today. And the first thing that he said that made sense was, you don't need supplements to have a great body, basically. There are some things that help you and can help you in certain situations especially. But at a basic level, supplements are not required. You don't need to take a protein powder, weight gainer, or anything like that. But, and my calculations bear this out because I'm already getting the calories that I need, according to this guy, according to other sources. So I don't need it. However, as I was talking about before, the more activity you have, the more calories you need, and you do need a certain level of protein. And especially once you start mixing vegetables in, it gets to be a lot of food, and really can be uncomfortable just physically getting all this food through your body. So protein powder gives you that protein and calories in a powder that you can just mix up and drink in a shake, going about your business without eating 2 whole chicken breasts. Now there are other ways to do this. I like the jerky, because it's 7 grams of protein, 1 ounce. So, I mean, all I have to do is eat that 1 ounce before or after a workout, and I get a good protein boost. Same thing with yogurt, which is fairly easily consumed, not like a, half pound of carrots, but there's still, 6 times the mass you have to eat, 6 ounces. But in a lot of ways it's easier to eat than jerky because obviously you don't have to chew it. So when I started today, I was already, I've been considering ever since I, heard the celebrity thing that I was going to do more meat. As these guys were stuffing themselves with lots of chicken and still drinking the weight gainer shakes and everything. But now that I've looked at my protein, I think it makes more sense to be that more moderate. There's obviously some people are going to say you need 2 grams, especially the people selling you the protein powder. Another reason you might need supplements is the whole caveman principle. Our brains have advanced dramatically in the last 1,000,000 years, but we still retain a lot of the characteristics of caveman in terms of our bodies and in terms of even the most basic instinctual parts of our brain. I think I really believe that, and I believe that the more you know about those things, the more of an advantage you'll have in life. Because it explains a lot of human behavior. The problem is, I don't live in a jungle or a desert or somewhere else. I live in a place where I have to get most of my food from a grocery store. Howdy.
How are you?
Good. Now, I'm kind of fortunate in that I live in the middle of the country and not in Alaska or someplace like that. Plenty of cattle and chickens around here. During the winter, of course, a lot of that fruits and vegetables are shipped from Florida and California. A lot of the other foods I eat are shipped from various places. That has an impact. And economically, in order to make money selling food, it has to last longer. And in the process of breeding these foods to make them last longer, they get sort of nutritionally dumbed down. In short, I can't get woolly mammoth meat anymore. I can't have a mammoth burger with real mammoth meat on it. makes sense that although our medical technology has advanced quite a bit, we still need things that we can't get through our diets. So using that nutritional and medical biological knowledge to our advantage, certain things that we need that aren't in our diets we can get. One of the examples of these is omega-3 fats. I have seen the chemical compounds for these, and it has a lot to do with what's bondable and what's non-bondable, and I would love to explain that to you. Actually, there's a really good explanation in a book called Live Long Enough to Live Forever. It kind of fits in with my plan, actually. Probably need to go read that, but that's by Ray Kurzweil and I think it's Terry Gross, a medical doctor and a genius, basically. He came up with this book saying, well, we'd have the technology sometime in the early to mid 21st century to extend life forever. And then all we need to do is live long enough to be there when it happens. So this is written from a baby boomer's point of view. So from my perspective, someone a little bit older than myself. So that's something I believe I'm probably going to start doing. I want to read into it some more, obviously. But I've taken this in the past, and I probably want to take it again in the future. So testosterone. Now, I've talked a little bit about how testosterone is important to the synthesis of muscle in men. Not important to women, just to men. And both men and women have estrogen and testosterone. Howdy. And so that's why, it's important to keep that balance. So the Muscle for Life guy also says, and the fact that he's sort of counteracting a lot of these popular tropes or myths kind of lends some credibility to him, although you can't just trust a contrarian because he's a contrarian. 1 mile to go, folks. So, no, and he does reference studies. This is muscleforlife.com. Again, I'm not endorsing any of this. Just some things I'm looking into. Adding additional testosterone, unless you are at an extremely low level, low end of the normal scale. Again, men only. Does not help you significantly increase your ability to build muscle. However, additional testosterone can help you burn fat, ironically. Things are usually not simple in this life. Some things are, but absolutes are not to be trusted generally, with regards to this world anyway. So a grain of salt always. I researched some other things online today that don't necessarily relate to what we're talking about here, but just be aware that there is, everybody's looking for a natural solution. Everybody's looking for a solution in a pill. I say everybody, meaning a lot of people. And this is America. If enough people want something, it's going to be claimed to be available out there. I believe a lot of supplements are worthless, so be sure you do your research, and that's what I'm trying to do. When you get over that plateau and you think, wow, I accomplished that, what if I could go further and do more? What if I could lose more fat? What if I could gain more muscle? And that enables us to push ourselves a little bit more. Also to look for anything that might help us. And that's why supplements are multi-billion-dollar business. Howdy.
Hello. Will you be passing me in a minute?
Nope.
Running?
Not today. So hopefully I'll be able to have some time to do a more in-depth and more research. But the topic of supplements is so broad. There's just so much stuff out there. And the place I want to start is just with what do I actually need. It's easy to want to just try something and see if it does anything. And if you try something, well, you feel like you're doing something to help yourself, and maybe you won't, you want it to do something, so you'll see it doing something. Don't necessarily know if that's the cause of it. So as I move into the final stretch of this 4-mile trek on Lake Fayetteville, I hope that this has given you some things to think about. Definitely not laying down the law with absolute facts, but giving you something to think about, just like, this is what I'm doing. I get ideas, I go think about them, I go do more research, and then eventually I have experience, and then I have real knowledge. Usually from mistakes I've made. But hopefully you're learning from my mistakes. That's what we're about, we're just all trying to get fit, be healthy, have good medical care, good fitness, good diet. And so with that, I will leave you. Keep the fever, and I will talk to you next time.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.